building brands actually also, stems from your values, your own personal core values of integrity, sincerity, and so on and so forth. Actually empathizing with the brand, what it really does stand for. And like I said, putting your company, your consumer ahead of you before your own self.
Brands, and you have built many that blend style with accessibility. And that's not easy in today's crowded market. Especially when so many options are out there. What does real value mean to you from a customer's lens and for young fashion entrepreneurs coming up now? Everyone, and welcome to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders, the podcast where we sit down with the minds that move industries. Powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, and today I am joined by someone who has truly shaped the landscape of fashion and retail in India and beyond, Mr. Sanjiv Mehan. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you very much, Sunny. Very happy to be here.
The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Mihan. I have been genuinely looking forward to this conversation, truly. Your journey from engineering textile machinery to creating standout fashion brands across the e-commerce and retail space is a story layered with transformation, vision, and relentless execution.
Absolutely. It's been a long journey. It's been a very fulfilling one.
And that's what makes this episode so special. For our audience, Mr. Mihan has led operations from brands like Lee Cooper and Numero Uno, launched multiple homegrown labels, driven e-commerce before it was cool, and continues to redefine what modern leadership in fashion looks like. So, Mr. Sanjeev, without any further ado, let's get into this conversation. And before we get into all the exciting parts of your work, let's rewind a bit. Mr. Sanjeev, tell us how it all began. What was that journey like for you? And how did it lead to everything you are doing today?
Right. Sunny, this started in 1984 when I finished my BTEX from Technological Institute of Textiles, Bhiwani. At that time, it was in my mind to do MTex, and I joined MTex at TIT Bhiwani itself and started working for Grevera Suiting in Bhiwani. But it so happened that I got a chance to take up appointment with the Machinery Manufacturers Corporation of India as a textile machinery erection engineer. So I was with that company for almost around 5 years, setting up machines all over India, in Abohar, in Sarsa, down south in Coimbatore, till I decided to do MBA. So I enrolled in FMS, Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi, and that required me to stay here in Delhi. This was a part-time degree that I did, but it's a full-scale, full-fledged MBA. And I started working then in the fashion industry at that time. So that marks my advent into the fashion industry. So for around 35 years, I've been in this industry, both in exports as well as in domestic.
Mr. Mehan, that's such an incredible journey you had. And what really stands out is how you have consistently evolved with the times, yet stayed anchored in the fundamentals. And that kind of resilience really shows the heart behind your work. And speaking of heart, you have not just run brands, you have actually built them from ground up. So from Lee Cooper to Numero Uno and your own ventures, what does brand building really mean to you? Beyond just the logos and the marketing glitz, and what's at the core of it in your eyes?
See, brand building, essentially, I always say कि ये खून देना पड़ता है अपना. खून ऐसे देना पड़ता है कि it's a 24-hour job. It's steeped. It starts right from the moral beliefs that you have and you hold, to result-orientedness, to ethics, to putting in a tremendous amount of effort, being very meticulous, and it's a 360-degree responsibility that you have to your consumers. So my roots have been in the MBA degree that I did, that, put my fundamentals in the right place. And my belief is this, that it is ultimately the philosophy that you, profess your own self. That is what actually gets translated into the brands, whether you're working for them or you're building your own brand. So, for example, my journey in Lee Cooper, I will say that it was built on what later on became my philosophy for a brand of my own. This brand that I'm talking about is called Idealism. And my 7 to 8 years of working there in Lee Cooper, I followed what I had learned during my MBA days by the book. So I believe that what is put in comes out. So if we are putting in the right stuff, the output is also going to be, right. So I followed the principles of, result-orientedness, of being ethically absolutely correct, vendor management, being, right by my customers, ensuring that, the customer and the remains first, and our own, parochial interests, they take a back seat. So I've always, put my consumer first, then the company, and then my own interests. So tremendous amount of effort goes into brand building, and this is and brands reflect one's own persona. I believe one has to be very comprehensive, and one has to put in a lot of effort. In Lee Cooper, we also, because our brand required us to be, we were like fashion leaders. So it was important that we were avant-garde. The fashions, that we were always, I made sure that I was always having my pulse on the hand of fashion, so that we are able to, give our customers the latest in fashion, and are therefore able to be, in forefront, interested, interesting for them. So these are some of my beliefs.
So Mehan, let me tell you, the way you have built brands with such depth is truly incredible. But I also want to rewind to when you were bridging India and China way ahead of the curve. Setting up an office in China for Lee Cooper back then could not have been easy. So what was that experience like, making India shine on the global stage?
See, this was year 2005. The multi-fiber arrangement was coming to an end. WTA was, the World Trade Organization was coming into the picture. And my MD, he was a great visionary. He's still there. And he felt that I was the right person to set up a sourcing office. And before that the right thing was to do actually start sourcing globally. So he felt that China was a great base. It was very diverse. And then he needed a reliable man of integrity and who knew actually the brand Lee Cooper very well to be stationed there. So the end of MFA, and he, decided that I needed to be, shifted there. So I opened an office there, a representative office there. I was chief representative of our company there in China. It was an incredible journey. China, I know that we are at, loggerheads with them. But the fact is that, yes, they are also a very interesting company. They are also, there's a lot to learn from China. They tend to be very fashion forward because they hold almost like 16% of, the world's exports. So they are that much closer to most of the European great brands. So there is a lot of, diversity and that they added to our brand. And I worked, again, I would say, 360 degree. So the sourcing, it was whole garment sourcing, it was fabric sourcing. It was actually also, buying fabric from one supplier. So, the brands often have multiple price points to cater to. So I was ensuring that the denims that I was buying, if the lower segment, I would buy the fabric from one, supplier, get it made locally by another, and then, produced and exported by another. We as a representative company didn't have a right to export. So all that, and that catered to the base level price. And then the finer, better, for more expensive apparel, denims for our more discerning customers. Then I bought from, those brands who were, those manufacturing units who were catering to some of the topmost brands, abroad. So whether it's energy, whether it's, so that is how, and it was great, hopping from one city to another. So what I was catering to was right from t-shirts to denims to non-denim jackets to fleece jackets, even innerwear. And China is in mentality similar to India. They are also very smart, very jugadu, people. But then one has to be also very cautious. So quality control was a big thing. We often keep hearing that, yes, especially because we are sitting far, from here, so they can actually pack anything and send here. So that is also very much a fact. I remember quite a number of incidents when I had to personally inspect goods and then found that the goods were, tremendously below quality, and I had to reject that. There was a huge hue and cry there in the factory. I remember that the lady who was the owner of the factory, she was, punching, or she was hitting packed boxes, cartons with her feet because I had caught that particular shipment. So one has to be careful. There are tremendous amount of challenges, but yet great experience working there. And this also, let me just tell you, let me add, that helped our brand really have that competitive edge, that fashion edge that we needed. We were competing with brands like Levi's, and we were therefore able to be that much more fashion forward. And I remember someone telling me that at that time, who was the chief executive officer of Levi's, saying that where do these guys get such, absolutely astonishing styles? So we were doing tremendously well.
And that's such a remarkable example of foresight, Mr. Mehan. To navigate international operations that early on and still keep quality and trust at the core, truly impressive and ahead of its time.
Absolutely, absolutely. You see, one thing I would like to add, like I said, खून blood देना पड़ता है brand के लिए, and you need sincere people. A lot of people are driven by money. Of course, money is and remuneration is also an important part, and everyone, that is a great motivator. Building brands actually also, stems from your values, your own personal core values of integrity, sincerity, and so on and so forth. Actually empathizing with the brand, what it really does stand for. And like I said, putting your company, your consumer ahead of you before your own self. So great amount of effort that goes in. And I was also practicing result orientedness. So profit was, also there at the back of my mind, that we needed to be, profitable, and that is also extremely important. Yet it's tremendously important that ethics are, followed through and through. That there is, I was always absolutely particular that if there is something wrong with my merchandise, whatever happens, it's not going to be passed on to the consumer. Rejection rates, I must say, I fearing criticism from you, that rejection rates were highest in my own factory, because I was, I was not going to stand for any merchandise just below par to be passed on to the customer. So that is, the care that one needs to take while building brands.
And diving deeper and talking about building brands, and you have built many that blend style with accessibility, and that's not easy in today's crowded market. Especially when so many options are out there. What does real value mean to you from a customer's lens? And for young fashion entrepreneurs coming up now, how can they hold on to traditional craftsmanship yet still meet global expectations?
Okay, a number of things actually are there in the question that you are talking about. Uh, you see, first thing that I would like to say, there are plethora of brands there in the market. New brands keep coming in. It's like music. They say that music पहले बनता था, simpler था. उस समय simpler था, yes. Nobody had any benchmarks. उसके बाद वो evolve होता रहा. So music has been evolving, yet new types and styles of music and new tunes, which are absolutely as mesmerizing at times, as, good to hear, or at least enjoy as the older melodies might have been. They may be different, but yes, they are still, fantastic to hear. So there is no end. There is always people ask me, I remember an MD of a company asking me, there are so many brands, should we make another brand? Is there space? So I always say that, yes, there is always room for another thing. There is always that room, so that's one thing. And then you see, one has an idea, and then it's important for somebody who's building a new brand to be differentiating, right? And you may latch on to some core idea, and then make it, build yourself around that, and then, have sort of mastery over that particular thing. Then you are, building a niche for yourself in that is, one way to go about it. So sustainability, for example, is, cornerstone of so many brands these days, or is the, buzzword in every sphere these days. So there are people who are building brands around sustainability with that as a core, this thing. But then they need to be true to their, basics. So if you are sustainable, then you've got to be really sustainable, and there should be no eyewash here. It shouldn't be like this. कि मैंने जो है एक cotton, किसी को क्या पता पड़ेगा कि whether I'm really using organic cotton or not. And then that is actually what's important. You'll never be able to carry that kind of weight and that kind of conviction in your products and your advertising and so on and so forth in the stories that you built around that, if you yourself are cheating on the product, So you need to be true to what you're doing, and there is always room for more ideas and more things and so on and so forth.
Absolutely, and that's such a thoughtful way to look at it, Ms. Mehan. Especially how you have tied emotional value and cultural relevance with the expectations of a global audience.
Yeah. So yes, a cultural, this has been happening actually since for a very long time. There have been brands like Anoki. There have been brands like, Ritu, gentleman who died, Rohit Bal, recently was a school friend, and he, crafted, or even for that matter, Ritu Kumar. I've worked with Ritu Kumar also, and they all have been. They have brought up Indian crafts, to a tremendous level. I remember when I was in Ritu Kumar, ma'am was asking me, can you please, uh, find out, look up my oldest karigars, the people who really helped me from day one, actually, people who had unique, craftsmanship reflecting crafts of India. I've lost them. She was, sort of lamenting. And she was asking me that, please root them out again for me. They were the ones who really, helped me stand out and stand up. So I went around actually then, trying to trace them. And then a few I got them to, meet ma'am. And the thing is this, that we have so much in our culture, and that we can, continuously, there is probably endless, we can endlessly make use of that culture and, put it up and shape it in such a extraordinary way. There is probably no end to it. And then talking about culture, good ethos is also an Indian, culture. So is part of India's own unique culture, to be, ethical, to be right, to be good. So, those things also we need to accentuate. These are our core practices. We not only need to practice those, we also need to accentuate these in whatever brand, in whatever thing, as a matter of fact, we do.
Absolutely. Mr. Mehan, I'm curious, is there a vision you are still working towards? Maybe something that includes stepping into more strategic boardroom roles where your experience can shape decisions at a larger scale?
Yes, very much. Hopefully, it'll be miles to go before I sleep. I'm currently working as a professor of practice. This is a new role that the Government of India has conceived to bridge gap between industry and academia. So I'm teaching in PIET, which is a multidisciplinary institute. I teach BBA, MBA, and textiles there. So that's one. I'm employing back whatever 40 years experience that I've had to try and mentor students to be more industry ready. Besides that, I intend doing some research projects that are relevant to the industry. I did a course in retail from ISB Hyderabad, and I was very lucky to get in touch with some absolutely astonishing doyens, so to speak, professors in various institutes abroad. So I'm in touch with them. I'm also trying to get them to come and help us out in our institute in whatever way possible. But I want them to help address industry issues. So I will be liaising with the industry to come up with and advise us about some pressing problems that they are facing. And then foreign students and our students and these absolutely like I said, astonishing professors can guide us to find solutions to those problems. Besides that, yes, to play a role in a boardroom is what excites me tremendously, and I am looking forward to it. I would love to contribute my might in whatever way possible to help industry be better. And these days, corporate governance is extremely important. Talking and doing point. And I have been, luckily, I feel that I am in pretty good stead with regard to that, because I have always, integrity and ethics have been of foremost importance to me throughout my career. I mean, this is actually, these values get built in, by your parents and your family and the teachers and so on and so forth, and besides that, I'm doing some, I've just enrolled in a course, online course for ESC with the University of Pennsylvania. So I've always believed in upgrading and being absolutely, because it's a dynamic world is changing. We need to always be abreast of it. And that is, one which way that we can really, contribute effectively. So I hope to have some very good roles in the corporate boardroom. I am in touch with one or two companies, and let us hope that I get a chance and through directors, institutes, medium also be able to do this.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Mehan. The kind of depth and perspective you bring, I can absolutely see you making a strong impact in boardrooms, in academia, and beyond.
Thank you so much. That's so very kind of you.
So, talking about corporate governance, Mr. Mehan, given the scale and complexity of the businesses you have led, corporate governance must have played a big role along the way, right? So, how do you view the role of strong governance in building sustainable, trustworthy brands, especially in an industry that's constantly evolving?
See, a brand, by its own definition, means somebody who is trustable. Otherwise it's a product. A brand inherently conveys to a customer that here is somebody that you can rely upon, right? And that comes through integrity. That trust can be breached very quickly. Like they all say, reputation बनाई जा सकती है, बनाने में बहुत समय लगता है, but it can be broken overnight. So one lapse, one instant. So trust is, and really then, we slowly actually built in everything bit by bit in all aspects, of whether it's merchandise, whether it's our, duty towards our vendors, whether it's our own workers, our employees. We need to, take care of them, be right, do the right thing by everyone. So whether it's our stakeholders, our suppliers, our company, our consumers. So at the very uh, base and core of it, we need to have ethical practices, integrity, and this thing that we owe, a responsibility through our product, through our actions, to everybody who's a stakeholder in that. So that has to be, that's why that I said, blood has to be, it's not, you can't be flying by night operators if you're really going to build a brand. Then it's not going to last long. Brands, I believe, are made for progeny. They are there forever, right? So that is the kind of, so we need to build in, give our everything to it, so that it is able to be there for a long time by itself.
Brilliant. That's a brilliant perspective, Mr. Mihan. It really shows how governance isn't just a checklist, but a mindset that strengthens every layer of leadership.
No doubt about it. Doubt about it. And culture is top down. It's extremely imperative that the management, first and foremost, believes in this, and then it'll percolate down to each and every employee. Even the ones who have probably differing views will fall in line. So, and it has to be reinforced by the management in their vision, in their actions, all along, every time.
Right, rightly said, Mr. Mehan. All right, so before we wrap up, I would like to quickly ask you, you have been a part of Directors Institute Network, and given the kind of journey you have had, I'm curious, what's been your takeaway from the experience? Has it added any new lens or value to the way you look at leadership and boardroom readiness today?
Yes, I think, you see, I believe that a lot of people believe that they can do a certain thing by themselves. But I believe you should always call in experts because they're always going to add that bit extra that is probably going to give you a competitive edge, or is surely going to add something invaluable to you. So Directors Institute has been very helpful. Their course has been designed very well. Not only, they helped me because the basics were important. And if you really want to be in the boardroom, then you need to know your do's and don'ts, and you also need to know, certain rules as to, unless until you are conversant with that, you are, not prepared rudimentarily. So Directors Institute helped me do that. Then there's series of, lectures which Mr. Jai Murthy, did for us. They're absolutely astonishing. He gave us insights into how the boardrooms really do function. So the only exposure that I have to boardrooms is, when I was called upon to make presentations there. But what exactly they are doing, so their duties, responsibilities, accountabilities, and how to behave, and how to really contribute effectively. All of that, has been taught to me. Their lectures are on now, even after the completion and being awarded, their certificate. They have contacted me, and I'm attending lectures on ESG. So that is a great step, and I really do appreciate their role in shaping me and helping me in this venture.
Wonderful to hear that, Mr. Mehan. And it reinforces how powerful continuous learning can be, even for seasoned leaders.
Absolutely, there is no two ways about it. I mean, I have a host of learnings to cite. I've done digital marketing, advanced digital marketing just recently last year from Purdue University. And like I said, I'm doing this course from, so one has to be abreast of all the, otherwise you stagnate. And I've got my own theory about that. And then you're bad for the industry. Because if you stagnate, then you're really not going to be a great manager. You're probably not going to allow, people who are bright and young to come up, because, you want to now hold on to a certain, position. So I have a theory, towards that too. So being being adaptable, being abreast of what is happening around in the world. So whether it's AI or anything, it's tremendously important for one to do that. Who heads a 7-star chain, I'll not name it. And, I was speaking with him the other day, and he said that, Sanjeev, for us to be relevant means that, we've been upgrading ourselves, and we have been, it's extremely important to do that.
Absolutely, Mr. Mehan. Let me tell you, this has truly been a thoughtful and enriching conversation. From your early days in textiles to shaping new age fashion brands, you have given us so much to reflect on, both as professionals and as individuals navigating change.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have been doing, I've been giving my full to it. My wife keeps saying that sometimes, आप जाते हैं कंपनी में तो आप कंपनी के ही हैं क्या मतलब so I defer her there and I say yes. I mean, it comes first to me, and so I have been doing that.
Absolutely, Mr. Mehan. But let me tell you, your story is a masterclass in resilience, reinvention, and leadership grounded in integrity. So, on behalf of Directors Institute, thank you once again for being with us on FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor. Thank you so much.
And to our lovely audience, we will be back soon with more conversations that bring clarity, purpose, and perspective from leaders who have truly walked the talk. Until then, stay curious and keep leading with intent. Thank you so much and have a nice day.